So, should I eat people or something?
うるせえんだよ。
Hello guys, welcome to my channel. I made a Kaneki mask and I'll show you how. To make Kaneki mask from Tokyo Ghoul, I needed some hard material, but also to make aluminum foil because anyone can access it and it can be found in any store, and certainly everyone has something like this in the kitchen because it is very popular in cooking. With the aluminum foil, I started to wrap it around my face. It should cover your nose and neck. To make it more resistant, I needed a few pieces of adhesive tape that I glued to the foil. But be careful, I recommend doing this process with an adult and not sticking tightly. You need an air hole at the edge where the nose is. I mean, you need to breathe, right? After I managed to cover the whole aluminum part with adhesive tape, I started by drawing directly on the face a sketch where you'll cut the surplus. Now comes the horrible part because you have to remove the mess from the face, and the only way is to cut it with scissors from the back because, again, you can't afford to damage it too much and it has to be not seen. I don't even want to think about how difficult it was, this process. And that's why I said you need some help, especially from an adult. When I managed to get it out, I was so amazed that I couldn't believe it. I retouched the sketch a bit with the marker because I hadn't succeeded in the back, and then I put it in half and cut according to the drawing I had created. And then I put some adhesive tape on the edge so that it would not be stinging to the touch. From that mask you'll have to cut so that you have 3 pieces. This step is so that we can put black material. So as you can see in the video, I drew 2 lines where I'll cut. One piece will be the neck part, the second part of the chin, and the third part of the neck. Because we are still in the cutting phase, I took the piece for the face and cut where I had made the drawing for the mouth. And again, I put tape on the edge. Adhesive tape. Until I put the black material, I will use a protective material, more precisely a sponge sheet that I'm going to put it on the inside. I cut 3 pieces. I recommend them to be smaller than our sketch so that they are not visible on the outside. This will be good on the inside where we have the aluminum foil. Obviously, don't forget that the piece on your face will have to cut the piece of sponge that is visible on the outside. You don't have to have anything where the mouth is. Now comes the part where we wrap the outside. This time I didn't decide to take any risk. The first time I decided to draw the sketch on a paper and cut it, and after cut the black material around the drawing paper that I made earlier. Cut out the pattern but leave a space. Do not cut exactly where the drawing is. You have to leave a margin of error, and you'll see why. And by the way, for fixing the drawing on the material, I used a scotch paper. Use a black material no matter what type. I used leather because it's a shiny material like Kaneki Mask. Plus, I wanted it to look as real as possible. So as a black material, you can use even a sponge paper. After cutting the material for each piece, glue on the outside. I mean in the side where the adhesive tape appears. You'll notice that the material is a little bigger than the model, and here I will explain why I did so. The remaining piece will be glued on the inside so that the edges are covered by this material. And do the same for each piece. Again, don't forget to cut the material where the mouth is. I recommend you using a cutter. Now that we put the material for each of the 3 pieces, until we assemble them, we'll need to take one last step. That is the Kaneki's mouth and glue where we made the hole. I first drew a sketch on paper and then I cut it on a red sponge sheet. On the same sketch where I had drawn the mouth, now I started to make the teeth. and I'm not gonna lie, but I felt like I would not finish, and I stayed a long time. And then I did the same. From the sketch I had also drew his teeth on a sponge sheet, and then I cut them. Until I glued the pieces with a red pen, I drew some red stripes on each tooth, the so-called gums. I cut it in half and glue each piece to the top and bottom of a white femur. At the end, I glued the teeth to the red mouth, then I unzipped and cut with a cutter along the length of the zipper. Now glue the mouth to the mask and we can assemble them. So I started with the piece that was for the chin. I put silicone on the edge and I glued a piece for the face. Then I put silicone on the chin piece again, but this time down, where I glued the neck piece. The neck piece is the longest and looks like a necklace. If you want it to be even more resistant, you can put scotch on the inside. To be able to wear it, put a zipper or a hedgehog type on the edge so that we can stick it on the back, and I think it's ready. I think I stayed to make it like 4 hours, but I can say that I enjoyed every moment and I hope you too. Well, if you find this video helpful, I invite you to watch these videos who are right on the screen. I'll wait you there.